Alright, it's been far too long since I've actually given you an update on what's been done to this printer, so I decided to take a moment to make a video. First off, a lot. Okay, no modifications have been permanent except for a couple of component changes on the Ultimaker breakout board, and I'll get to them in a second here. But I guess I'll just start going through some of them real quick. One of the first things that I happened to print was the spool holder in the back. Next was this handle that I've added to it. The other things that have been done since, I changed out and upgraded the Bowden tube clamp at the top of the print head with this really light ABS doohickey. It has a compression collar inside the threaded knob on the top here. It holds it super strong. In fact, if the Bowden tube does pop out, it'll be at the back here with the regular C-clip. The other thing that's been done is I have changed out and upgraded the cooling fans with some printed, again printed ABS shrouds, and I guess some 25mm fans in parallel. So they split the voltage and they PWM fine with the I guess with the G code for printing. So if they need to ramp up, they will. Okay, a few other things. The bed itself, I have ordered and got in a heated bed. Can't really see it here now. But it's just a 3mm aluminum plate with the heating element on the back. I plan to put a piece of glass back here eventually. The leveling system has been kind of upgraded and custom. It's been modified slightly from Neatherbot. Neatherbot's design. I stole his knurled bolt thumb screws here, spring-loaded to the bottom of the board with some M3 double nuts in the middle, so that if you want to, you can actually take this plate off just by compressing it, and then it'll stop, and you can see how the it allows the head to elevate slightly there, and then you can just slide it off because they're keyed, right? But this makes adjusting the leveling much easier. Okay, these rod end stop covers have been put in place as well. They're just printed out of some basic white PLA. They have an oiling hole directly above, and it lines up pretty precisely with the bearings that are in the that are in the plywood walls for the printer. And there are some right now. They're just standoff screws. I haven't put any knurled thumb bolts on them yet, but that can, if you hear the rod slapping back and forth, which I'm sure you had because you had some paper and some other stuff underneath these caps, these can be adjusted, right? And these can be turned just to limit the movement of the rods back and forth, so that they don't slap around as much. And in order to facilitate that, I have made this little critter. It's just it's a holder for a generic suspended, I think it's like a suspended PTFE oiling needle oiler, just to put a dab on any of the again in the bearings, or sometimes right on the rods. And in addition to this, there are also 1.5 and 2mm Allen keys that stay with the unit, right? They are fairly snug, but I also put a magnet in the bottom of this holder to help hold them in there in case they do get really loose, right? Or whatever else you want to stick there, I suppose. Need to make any adjustments, an ABS M3 nut camulet, I think is what they call it. So if you need to reach up right in behind, you can actually get something on there. All right, now more stuff. Here is the Alta controller. Well, Sane Smart equivalent board that you had for the unit as well. I haven't permanently mounted it to any of the actual wood for the Ultimaker. I wasn't sure where you'd want to, if you wanted to at all. So nothing that has been added to here has been physically modified, as in there's been no cutting or drilling of the wood at all, just because I didn't want to do anything that permanent. Any parts that have been removed, like the caps here, or the nylon inserts for the platform here, anything that's been removed has been set aside, just in case you wanted to revert back. So yes, again, I printed this out as well as a knob, and it's on a clip. This strange clip thing that I drew up and printed just so that you kind of put it on at an angle and then just slide it up, and compression just holds everything there, and it's quite solid. Okay. Now to a few of the more elaborate things here. I've got this guy, which I designed and built. It's a clip with a flexible coil neck up to a 720p life cam that the guts have been transported into this ABS housing. This housing is all sealed up with acetone ABS slurry. The whole idea with the clip here being that it can clip on to any of these walls and be positioned where you want. In fact, you can actually clip it right on the Z-axis platform here. Oh crap. Right? And then set it up to capture the image, and that way your video frame of reference moves with the platform, right? So that gives a kind of unique view, but for the most part I leave it here pretty much. Alright, so you're wondering, well, what's that connected to? Just one second here. Slide this back in here. Okay. Actually, we'll cover this first. I've got there's a 350 watt 24 volt DC supply that I have added to the unit. I haven't butchered your original 19 volt power supply cable. This is a high gauge cable from an old ThinkPad actually, but the barrel connector fits. So anyway, so it's at 24 volts DC now. Oh, and these small GPU fans are attached with thermal tape, some 3M thermal tape to the stepper motors, so that the steppers can now run at down to like 10 millimeters a second. And when they do, actually running the steppers slower generates more heat, because they have to there's just more internal magnetic strain between the poles of the steps. They do microstepping and they hold it in place longer, so they actually do warm up more. So anyway, this keeps them relatively cool. One thing, I had to swap out the extruder that what you had on there, the acrylic one. It broke, as well as it had a bearing blowout. Actually, one of the bearings had simply completely failed, and it wasn't until I started looking real hard at it that it became apparent that one of the bearings actually failed, and it doesn't. The bearing failed, and it was clicking, and it wasn't actually. It was misextruding. But long story short, the V2 bolt, the one with the cupped machined grip on it, that bolt is in this original one now, and it works just stellar. I'm gonna have to split this into two videos, because I think I'm limited to 10 minutes, but I'm counting down here. Anyway, I'll do another video. Also, this wedge to keep it from moving around a little bit. Okay, I'll do another video and continue on.